Alright guys, it is Sunday, August 8th, 2021 at 10:56 p.m. Alright, let's start with a Bible verse. We have verse of the day. Remember this, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. 2 Corinthians 9:6. Alright, let's start. We got France, Italy swept by mass protests against COVID health pass. France saw its largest protest yet against the country's health pass, as thousands swept across major Italian towns demanding an end of the infamous Green Pass. As on Saturday, protests took to the streets in France and Italy in opposition to COVID rules that they say infringe on their civil liberties, but which officials argue are needed to curb the coronavirus pandemic. The protests came as European countries doubled down on efforts to get wide portions of the population vaccinated in the face of the spreading Delta variant and in bid to avoid further lockdowns. It says demonstrations against France's health pass and mandatory vaccines for healthcare workers entered their fourth weekend, with Saturday seeing the largest rally yet. An estimated 237,000 people turned out nationwide, according to the Interior Ministry. The figure exceeds the attendance a week ago, which saw 204,000 protesters. So Italy and Paris are pretty much out there protesting. Also France, just protesting against any COVID pass. Alright, next. Trio of tropical disturbances to watch in Atlantic Basin. A trio of tropical disturbances are developing in the Atlantic Basin and should be closely watched next week. Two of the disturbances have a chance of forming intertropical depressions in the next 5 days. July is a quiet period and an active start to June 1st in the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season, but statistically the busiest part of the hurricane season begins on August 20th. It seems a significant uptick in storms is ahead. The first disturbance in the low system over the west central Atlantic. The second disturbance is more east and is moving westward in the central Atlantic, tropical Atlantic. The third distance is near Africa. Disturbance is near Africa. You see 3 here. Alright, let's take a look. Next, agricultural catastrophe. France forecasts 30% plunge in wine production amid cold spells and heavy rains. Wildfires will be heartbroken to learn that the world's second largest wine production country is expected to slash production by as much as 30% this year due to spring frost and summer downpours that cause disease in grapes. Wine production in 2021 is forecast to be historically weak, below levels in 1991 and 2017 that were also affected by severe frost in spring. The French Farm Ministry said in a report. Yields are expected to be close to those of 1977, a year when the harvest was cut by damaging frost and summer rainfall. So you see here the years of planned wine production, and then 2021 historically weak right there. Alright, so heads up for you wine drinkers. We get wine from France. They are forecasting a 30% plunge in wine production. Alright, next. Greece wildfires. Strong winds push flames toward villages. It says, standing under red skies, one tourist on Envia describes the scene as an apocalyptic movie. Wildfires are continuing to rip through the Greek island of Evia, with strong winds driving flames toward villages. More than 2,000 people have already been evacuated from the island, many of those by ferry. A number of wildfires have struck the country in recent days. One blaze in the northern suburbs of Athens is said to have subsided. Greece is experiencing its most severe heat wave in 30 years, in which the temperature spiked to 113 degrees or 45 degrees Celsius. Heat waves such as this are coming more likely and more extreme because of human-induced climate change. The subsequent hot, dry weather is likely to fuel wildfires. So Evia in Greece is pretty much experiencing extreme fires, as well as Dixie Fire, which grows the second largest in California history. The Dixie Fire is become the second largest wildfire in California history Sunday, as thousands of residents remained under evacuation orders and more than 1,000 buildings stood in its path. The fire, which began July 14th and leveled much of the historic Sierra Nevada town of Greenville last week, grew to 477 acres, according to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, or CAL FIRE. Less than a quarter of the blaze is surrounded by contained lines. Only the August complex fire, which scorched more than 1 million acres across the 7 counties last year, was larger, according to CAL FIRE data. So, look at this. Dozens of burned vehicles rest in heavy smoke during the Dixie Fire in Greenville, California. That is a lot of damaged vehicles just burnt. It says no deaths have been reported, although the 4 people remain unaccounted for. Officials in Plumas County said on Sunday 3 firefighters have been injured and more than 400 buildings have been destroyed, according to CAL FIRE. Alright, guys, so it's a big fire there. Alright, now let's take a look at what the Atlantic looks like from the National Hurricane Center. We have 2 disturbances in the Atlantic. We have disturbance 2 with 30% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. And then we have disturbance 1 with 50% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. Alright, guys, so the disturbance 1 is basically moving at 15 miles an hour, and it is east-southeast of the Leeward Islands. It is at 50% formation chance through 48 hours and 60% chance formation chance through 5 days. Alright, let's take a look what's happening in the Eastern Pacific. Alright, we have Tropical Storm Kevin with maximum sustained winds of 50 knots or 60 miles an hour, with minimal central pressure of 999 millibars, located 16.0 north and 110.3 west, moving west at 7 knots or 8 miles an hour. Tropical Storm Kevin. And then we have a disturbance 1 with 60% chance of cyclone formation. Alright, then we have, let's take a look at the Central Pacific. Southwest of Hawaii, we have disturbance 1 with 10% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. Says formation chance through 48 hours low at 10%, and formation chance through 5 days low at 10%. So that one's moving west-northwest at 10 miles an hour. Alright, guys, that's it for this video. Hit like and subscribe for more news, and hopefully if there are any more updates on any fire, I'll make a video on it. But it's pretty much fires in California, fires in Greece, and parts of Turkey that were happening. Alright, guys, hit like and subscribe for more news, and see you guys next time. God bless you guys.